You are watching Shaw Arts and Entertainment. I'm your host, Curtis Anderson. In the studio today, along with local author Jim Brayshaw, author of, do I call it controversial? Is it controversial?
It definitely has been for some.
Okay, author of Satan, Christianity's Other God. Let's jump right in this. First things I want to know, how much research did this take?
Well, about 6 years ago, I was challenged with the concept of where Satan came from and started looking into it, and the research kept piling up, and answering one question at a time led to another. So if you can put a time frame on it, 6 years or so, and 2 to 3 years of writing.
And we're off and running. That's an odd challenge. How did that come about?
Well,
It's not something a lot of people sit down and try to disprove.
no, you're right. I guess I was raised in a fairly religious family with
Okay.
Satan as part of our belief system, and I was never shown how that got into our belief system. So as I mentioned earlier, when I was challenged with the thought of where he came from, I kind of wanted to prove that, yeah, he does exist and he does have an impetus on my life and he can affect the world. And as I tried to prove that, I learned things that indicated maybe that's not so.
So are you still of a religious background, or are you more switched over to atheism? Where is this stance coming from?
That's an excellent question, and I'm definitely not atheistic. In fact, through the book, it's very clear that I believe there's one God in the universe,
Okay.
and he can connect with people as they try to connect with him. So I'm not a religious person, I like to think. Sometimes I can be religious about little things too,
Okay.
but spirituality is something I pursued my whole life, and it's just kind of a more focused stream right now.
So I'm wrapping my head around this. God or higher power, yes, but Satan, no.
Yeah, I see that question rumbling around in people's heads all the time. If you say there's no Satan, you must be saying there's no God.
It's kind of where I was heading.
Yeah, right? And it's an excellent question because somehow people think there's got to be this opposite pole to this supposedly good God. But the facts of history and scripture seem to indicate that before the Hebrew people went into Persia in the 6th century BC, they had a true monotheism. They understood the good and the bad that happened to them came from their one God. When they entered Persia, they met up with, it's called Zoroastrianism. It's a dualistic philosophy where one man named Zoroaster had a vision, said there's a good God, but there's an evil cosmic being fighting him all the time, or her. And at that, he said eventually the good one would win, but the good one doesn't do bad to you, it's the evil one doing bad to you. And so the Hebrew people left Persia in about 539 BC, and they kind of took this philosophy with them, and it entered Christianity and common culture.
Huh.
And that's the nutshell.
That's the nutshell of this book. Okay, I'm still wrapping my head around this. So if your on earth deeds are judged, are you still there? Are you not? Okay, if your on earth deeds are judged and you're not punished with eternal suffering, are you rewarded with a heaven?
Heaven is a concept as well that
Okay.
came out of ancient mythology.
Yes.
The idea biblically seems to suggest that if you and I say are considered good people by this creator,
Yep.
then we end up
communing
in a good place,
Okay.
communing with him at some point. And a lot of the prophetic scriptures and New Testament writings indicate that good place is the earth really made fresh and lively again without yours and my desire to commit bad, called sin to some people.
Okay, so that's a no then, probably not from your research.
If you're looking for a yes or no answer, yeah, there's no hell torment that a person will suffer if they choose wickedness.
Okay.
But it's an eternal destruction, let's call it that. You just cease to exist.
Okay. Wow, I can imagine some people not taking, not smiling upon your findings. So have people asked you what the point then is of trying to live a good life here on Earth then?
Yeah,
Does
they
that
have.
come up?
That
Yeah.
has people
There's
say,
no
well,
reward,
so why
no-
would I even bother? In fact, it's interesting because some of the guys I work with, when we've talked about it, they said, okay, there's no hell, so I don't have to do any good. Well, that's totally a personal choice, obviously, but there's a destruction from the presence of the Creator forever. And that seems to hold some weight with certain people, those that think there is a Creator. Those that have no decision whether there is or isn't, it's kind of hard to reason with that based on a biblical understanding. So my personal feeling is good repays itself and comes back to you. So that is a reason to do good here, whether you believe in a God, a devil, a hell, a heaven, or not.
Wow, I think I'm even more confused than when I started. That is great. That means I'm going to sit down with this book starting tonight and try to get to the bottom of this. And that doesn't usually happen. Usually I've wrapped up everything I need to know about the book at the end of an interview, and I feel like I don't have to read it. This, however, took the exact other way. But feedback in general, sir.
Generally very positive. Generally,
Yeah.
people are saying
Thought-provoking.
thought-provoking. It's great to have questions. It's great to pose these thoughts that some people say are taboo. And I send people to my website they can actually look at each chapter for free on the website, or you can order the book through there or the bookstores in the city, and on Amazon as well. And in going there, I find that people say, you know what, thanks for bringing this up, because since I've been little, I've always wondered, how can there be a God and he let this evil being exist that causes so much harm to everyone?
Most negative feedback.
Yeah.
Have people
Yeah, the negative feedback.
been angry?
I got one email the other day back. I sent out an email announcing this upcoming lecture I'm doing Thursday night, and a pastor said, "You're going to hell for speaking all these lies." I've had other people say, "You're deceived and you're not in God's kingdom," and that I understand where they're coming from, but I don't think that's a good way to
Fair enough.
engage.
How does that affect you when you hear that? Because
Sometimes
there's negative feedback, and then there's that kind of negative feedback.
Yeah, you're right. It used to affect me adversely, but I've learned to deal with it now. Angela, my wife, helps me a lot. Say, you know what? Those people haven't taken time to even explore the concept.
Fair enough.
And all I'm asking is people ask questions and explore. I can't say, take this, believe it, and live it. And so she gives me this kind of counsel, and I say, you know what? You're right. I've got to let it go.
There it is. That's a perfect ending to this 5-minute A&E. Wow, that was some good stuff. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, you're welcome.
And the book, again, is available at local bookstores like McNally Robinson, to plug them.
Yeah, McNally Robinson, Indigo, Coles in Lawson Heights, the www.scog website, and Amazon. It's very readily available now.
There it is. Exercise your mind. Thank you so much.